the July 2023 Spotlight on ACR Houston. The topic today is peer mediation with Darcy Thompson. That is your topic. Welcome to the Lawyers and Mediators International Show and Podcast by InstantMediations.com, where we discuss law and conflict resolution topics to educate both professionals and everyday people. Catch regular episodes on YouTube, the Instant Mediations app, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Just remember, nothing in these episodes constitutes legal advice, so be sure to talk to a lawyer, as cases are fact-dependent. Hey everyone, this is Mac Pierre-Louis, attorney, mediator, and arbitrator working throughout Florida and Texas.
And Natalia Łowska-Czajka, advocate, mediator, and arbitrator from Warsaw, Poland.
I'm Cheryl Jackson Matthews with ACRHouston, and today we have Darcy Thompson, the vice president of our organization, and she is also the team leader for our peer mediation program, and she has lots of information for you. So, Darcy.
Thank you for having me on today. So I'm excited to have a chance to talk about peer mediation and ACR's program, which is called Our Peace Building Community.
Hey, Darcy, good to see you. And we were with Cheryl last time on June's Spotlight, where she gave a big introduction to ACR Houston. But this time we're kind of segueing into something specific that ACR Houston does. And that's something that you are really passionate about. I know you were the one that kind of introduced a lot of us to peer mediation in the Houston area. So definitely looking forward to having you speak a little bit about what this does as one of the arms of ACR Houston. But guys, I gotta apologize for my lighting. It looks like I'm in a Halloween horror film. I understand that. So my apologies for that. There's nothing I can do about it right this moment. I'm kind of stuck recording with y'all. But it'll be fixed for next time. Don't worry. So I'll let Natalia kind of take over and introduce the topic through you.
Thank you. Dear ladies, so lovely to have you in our at LMI podcast and to present furthermore on ACR Houston and the work you are doing. And I understand we are now having an interview with Darcy specifically on peer mediation. So Darcy, if someone is new to that, peer mediation, we know what it is. Why do we need to get peers? So actually kids and what age into that?
Okay, so thank you, Natalia. So peer mediation is a process that allows a pair of trained students to help their peers resolve their own conflicts. It is an amazing benefit to the students and to the schools. For the schools, we're talking about a reduction in office referrals, a reduction in suspensions, and a greater focus, more time to focus on academic achievement. For students, we're talking about building their self-esteem and building their self-connectedness in their school connectedness. And recently, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, released their 2021 report. 2022 maybe is coming out about this time, but I haven't seen it yet. But their 2021 report for youth behavior risk, and they talk about school connectedness and how with school connectedness, and school connectedness means that the students have a belief that teachers and staff care not only about their achievement, but also about them personally. That makes students experience less emotional stress. They have less suicidal thoughts. And so it's a great benefit to the students who are resolving their own conflicts, and they know that there's a process to do that. For the peer mediators, they're learning leadership skills, they're learning effective communication, effective problem solving, skills they can use through a lifetime. So there are lots of benefits to the school and to the students and the community.
And Cheryl, I wanted you to jump on so you can give some feedback on this. But I wanted to share before we continue the ACR Houston website. If you're not a member, again, go back and check out the last video we did with Cheryl, where she kind of explains why you should join and some of the things that they're doing, that we're doing. Because give me a second, I got technology kind of blowing up around me. Give me 10 seconds here. Alexa, stop. Literally, that's gonna be a first. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go shut
Alexa
up
joining
my
the conversation.
technology. But in the meantime, um, when I mute myself, Cheryl, can you just give us a little bit of an insight about ACR Houston again? And then if people are interested in peer mediation, they just have to go down to the homepage and check out the peer mediation window. Okay.
Okay. As we talk about peer mediation, um, Darcy is being very, very modest. She has been in the education field for what, Darcy, 30 years?
30 years.
And right. And in her capacity as a clinician in what area? I forget.
So I worked in special education as a teacher, and then I was a educational diagnostician, diagnosing learning problems, doing evaluations for students who were suspected of disabilities, and um, also facilitating lots of conversations. And so it has been just wonderful to be able to connect these two passions of education and children and
Right.
mediation.
So that was an easy segue for you. And as I watched you pull the program together, for those of you who don't know, Darcy actually trains students in how to use peer mediation so that they can take the information back to their school. And it is I'm going to let Darcy talk about the program in specifically, but it's very intense. And I have worked with her in training. And as a matter of fact, just last week, she and I participated in a training session, but this was for another organization in Texas. Although it wasn't peer mediation, it certainly looked like the training that Darcy does. So can you give us some insight on that training, please?
Thank you, Cheryl. So indeed, we do offer, ACR Houston offers peer mediation, also other conflict resolution, but the main focus is the peer mediation program. It is called Our Peace Building Community, and I'll explain that later. The training is intense. It's about 15 hours for high schoolers, 12 to 15 hours for middle schoolers, and we also do the upper elementary grades, 4th through 5th grade. During the training, the students are trained in effective communication. They learn a lot about the concept of conflict, what it is, what it looks like, and how to de-escalate some of it. And they learn the peer mediation, which is a structured problem-solving process. Role plays play an essential part of the training, and the students pair up and then they practice co-mediating with, we give them some sample role plays. Each team of co-mediators is paired with a facilitator, and that facilitator is an experienced mediator who observes them and gives them feedback. After the training is completed, the students get a certificate. Their coordinator, and we train the coordinators when we train the students, their coordinators get a resource packet of how to initiate a program on their campus. They're given parent forms, student application forms, mediation forms, ideas for explaining and promoting the peer mediation program they have on their campus, as well as suggestions for additional practice and training for the peer mediators. When the program is done, we actually provide, after the training is done, we actually provide them with a year's worth of monthly consultations so that they can come back and get more information. Sometimes they ask for more role plays because they're continuing to practice. Sometimes they need to tweak some things or add more students into the program. We may train more students at a campus so that they can grow their program. They have enough peer mediators when others
Mhm.
graduate or just in building their program.
And Darcy, when we hear that from you, and Cheryl, when you informed us that it is all being run also through ACR Houston, and we know that you follow upon your students, tell us what the results are. What you see, what it brings, what sort of new skills are being raised, what sort of new ideas are being born, and how does it work in practice?
So, do you want me to start, Cheryl, or you wanted to share a little bit
No,
first?
you go ahead. That's your baby.
Okay. So, what we're getting from the students, and we've had some students who have just been so excited about the training that, as Cheryl said, they've gone back. We've done some summer trainings with students across different schools. And then we've had those students, some of those students go back to their school and tell their counselors, tell their administrators, hey, how do we get that program here? And we've actually had a chance to do that in one particular school in Conroe. And the student, she has graduated, but this year she should be a resident assistant. Her freshman year, on her application, she, shared with the college that she had been trained as a peer mediator. And so her freshman year, I guess they do kind of a get acquainted year, but as her sophomore, and this year she's going into her sophomore year, then she was slated to become a peer mediator. We've also heard back from a student who said that she had a friend who she had fallen out of sorts with for over a year. After the peer mediation training, she contacted the friend and they have reestablished that connection. So students are actually able to use those skills. We have had staff members whose children are in the program and they have given good feedback about the program. And so it has been really effective. And in general, what we hear about peer mediation is it builds children's self-esteem. It builds their independence. It builds their empowerment. And I can settle my own problems. And like I said, the other part is it's given teachers back time to teach because they're not handling some of the little petty stuff and the little drama that often goes on between children when they get into a group.
Darcy, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cheryl.
That's excellent. I'm glad you delved into it like uh, it really is. Two things. How can someone get in touch with you if, in fact, they want the program on their campus or just really have questions for you?
So if you are interested in starting a peer mediation program or some other conflict resolution training, please, you can reach out to us at the website. I think, Mac, you shared on the website, and the website is www.acrhouston.org. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a peer mediation link. You can do that, or you can contact us. Thank you. And or you can contact us, and that's a copy of our flyer that gives you the highlights of what the peer mediation program does. But you can also contact us at peermediation@acrhouston.org. That's our email address. So we're ready to help you create your own peace building community. And so ACR Houston has a program, and it's our peace building community because we go to other places and help them build their own peace building community. So that's it in a nutshell. We're real excited about our program.
Yeah. So, Darcy, a few rapid fire questions. Do you have any idea on whether or not COVID exacerbated things that made this more of a necessity, or was peer mediation always kind of around over the years? Because I know you and I went through a training, probably what, a good year or so ago, on school mediation. With I forget, I'm going blank on the trainer's name now. She's actually been one of
Undine
our.
Gross.
Thank you.
Undine Gross.
Undine Rose, who wrote on school mediation, and she kind of gave a really good foundation in her training that we went to. But I'm just, and so my point for bringing that up is that she had been doing this for many, many years. But I'm curious on whether or not, in your opinion, if COVID-19 and the pandemic and the lockdowns and how it impacted the schools around the world, if that kind of had an impact on kids' conflicts to now make it more where peer mediation is more of a necessity than before?
So to answer your question, one, I don't have data yet on whether or not peer mediation programs have become more prevalent. However, qualitatively and some quantitative data that I have heard, and I don't have the citations in front of me, indicates that students are having more issues in communicating with one another, from making that transition from being at home, being at virtual, to being back in a group setting where now they're expected to behave in a group manner so that other students can learn, so that you don't have somebody tapping on your chair, while you're trying to listen to whatever's going on in class. All those kinds of things have made it important to reestablish those connections. Social emotional learning and academic achievement have really been hit hard by COVID. And when we started doing this program, the first group that we actually worked with, we did it virtually. So we used a virtual model of peer mediation training because of COVID, and that was due to COVID. So now the silver lining is we do it both in person and we do it virtually, but COVID did have a real impact.
One last thing, Darcy, I know Kimberly Barahona, one of our colleagues on ACR Houston, in ACR Houston, has also done a lot of work in this area, I believe alongside you. I saw recently that she was having the Montgomery County uh, host some kind of program that dealt with kids. Is ACR Houston working in conjunction with any kind of programs in Montgomery County, or are you just doing schools in the area, in the Houston area?
So our focus going forward is going to be Harris County, but we have in the past worked with Montgomery County and with Kimberly in the past as well. So we have done, and like I said, because we do it virtually as well, and what we've done virtually and in person in Montgomery County, but because we do it virtually, we have the ability to reach out to lots of different campuses and schools, and we're not opposed to traveling a little ways if that will help a
Yeah,
school in a program that they need to really address the needs of their students.
well, that's important because Cheryl asked earlier how people can get in contact with you. So, how far can you reach out? How far can they be to work with you?
So that is something that is negotiable. So if they are in a different county around the state, we would look at what was available for us, what's available for them. And our priority is meeting the needs of students. There, like you said, there is so much post COVID. There are so many needs there that if we can help and there's not something else that's available closer to them, we're willing to have a discussion and see if we can work that out. So I don't know, Cheryl, as the president, do we have a restricted? Our primary focus is Harris County, but Galveston, Dallas, wherever. Cheryl, do you have
We
any?
don't have no. We actually don't have a plan per se as it relates to where we will take this peer mediation program. I would think certainly it is up to any campus statewide. We would love to be a part of that because students. I would not want to be a student at this time in the country. Um, you know, a lot of them are lonesome. They don't connect with other students, and then you have problems like you've seen recently. And peer mediation, if we can catch them before they slip away, I think it's excellent. So if that's one kid that we get out of all the kids in the state of Texas or really across the country, then that's one less kid who would be uh, bothered or hampered or teased or bullied into a situation that causes him or her to do something rash. So we have no limits. We're here for the country and the state of Texas. But Harris County does come first. That's where we are, and we'll treat them as our little babies.
Thank you for
Okay.
sharing all of that with us, and especially for being so open to share your knowledge and expertise and the training. Training is always the key, the essential part, because without people being trained, you can't actually apply this method among other people. I hope that our listeners of yours will get encouraged and get encouraged also to contact you and to use your knowledge, your skills to introduce those programs into the schools, into any other teaching places where this is really necessary and can help resolve real problems. Even if they start small, sometimes they end up with really big tragedies. And this is why we are here, all of us mediators, to catch them when they are still small.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's so critical to start early. You're absolutely right. I totally agree.
All right, everybody. So we're gonna take off a butt, come back for August's spotlight on ACR Houston. And the website again, acrhouston.org, where we always come back and talk about what's going on in this organization. And we encourage you to join if you're not already a member. Okay. And again, sorry again about the whole ghost like effect here on the computer. So, all right, guys, until next time.
Thank you,
Thank
Mac,
you.
and thank you, Natalia, for having us to discuss this really timely information. And it's been fun.
Good
Awesome.
luck with the program, and it was lovely to have you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.